everybody. Welcome to Golden Moments with Lumbre. We have Clare Mannion here today. We absolutely love Clare. She has a beautiful vibe, and she looks good in photos.
Thank you.
So Clare, let's get started. Hiring a celebrant is super personal. Couples really have to vibe with your personality. It's an important part of their wedding day. How would you describe your personality in 3 words, if you can?
Okay, so I think I'm bubbly, I'm creative, and I'm a complete pro when I need to be.
Awesome. We know that you started out in events and floristry, and then you moved into being a celebrant. Can you tell us a bit about that career move?
Sadly, it was all due to COVID, that pesky word,
Yes.
COVID.
We're not allowed to say that word.
I know, it was so sad. COVID has taken a huge toll on the floral industry.
Yeah.
We weren't getting any imported flowers in. There was a huge, overwhelming pressure on the local growers, and all the prices went through the roof.
Right.
And of course, we had huge amounts of postponements and cancellations, and it wasn't sustainable, unfortunately. So somebody said to me that, Claire, you'd make an amazing celebrant. Why don't you give that a try? And so during the first lockdown, I did all my training.
Okay.
So it kept me very busy.
Yeah.
It was many hours of study, but I did my training, and I was really happy to get my celebrant number from the Attorney General. And I've now booked over 72 weddings.
I know, we're watching you just grow, and you're so popular.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's grown like I would never have imagined, and I'm so grateful.
That is a testament to you and that bubbly personality.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and you are very professional. I mean, you look great on a wedding day, and you show up like a rock star.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. I didn't know that about COVID. So did you do your training in the first lockdown being March 2020? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I did. It's supposed to take quite a long time. I hadn't really appreciated how incredibly how academic the celebrant training is, and I was quite shocked by how much legal stuff we have to go into, and of course it's all incredibly important. It's a very important job. So yes, I did that over 3 months of that first lockdown. So I was doing it online and staying up very late, and trying to get it done. So I thought, no, I need to do this. This is something I feel good.
Passionate about.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you use that time wisely.
Yes.
Look at you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Claire, so you obviously have a passion for weddings and love. What is it specifically that attracts you to this industry? Because as you said, like, things were not going well with floristry because of COVID. You could have gone and become an accountant or something like that, but you chose to stay in this industry. What keeps you coming back?
I think being part of the wedding industry is just beautiful. We get to meet the most amazing couples, the most amazing suppliers and vendors. We get to visit the most beautiful venues.
As we can see here at Lake Breeze.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And I just love being part of a client's journey from start to finish, being their wingman, being their support person. It's quite overwhelming for some couples. Some couples have never even been to a wedding before. So it's really lovely to see them grow and get the wedding that they have always dreamed of.
The ceremony too is so important, and you really build that for them, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's an important part of the wedding.
Yeah, I would say so.
I know some couples just want to get it done and dusted and off to the party, but it is a really important moment.
And something that can be overlooked because they're so scared of what to do.
Yes.
They know what they need to do, but they're scared of how to do it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's really lovely to be part of that with them.
Yeah.
And in that moment, and I just never get bored of that moment where we announce them married. It's just beautiful. It's so lovely.
I would say it's been a nice favorite part too, the walk back down the aisle.
Yes. Yeah. That celebration that they did it, and it's done, and
now we can
they can party to the heart's content. Yeah.
Okay, so you have 70 plus couples booked. Do you attract a certain kind of couple, or do you find that you work with everybody?
I don't like to think that I attract any one type of couple. All my couples are from all different walks of life, and I love them all dearly. And we get very introverted couples that just want a very low-key wedding, something very simple, and we get all the way up to extroverts that want all the bells and whistles, and you know, they just want, you know, to have a wild time and just you know, express their own personalities. So I get everything in between that, and I love that so much.
It keeps it different.
Yes, I don't feel I want to attract one type of person. Everybody's story is incredibly important, and you know, you need to respect that, I think.
So as you mentioned before, you had to do specific training for this, and a lot of people don't know, you know, everything that celebrants have to do to get to the point of being able to marry somebody. What are the specific services you offer your clients?
So first and foremost, we need to make sure that we offer the client the support for the ceremony that they want. It's got to be personal to them. But we've also got to make sure that this ceremony meets all the legal requirements for Australia. So we need to make sure that all the relevant paperwork is completed on time and appropriately. And we also are in an awesome place to advise clients on pragmatic things like changing their will, changing their name, taxation changes.
I had to figure out a lot of that by myself.
Yes, exactly.
And it was not fun.
Yeah.
So you can advise them on that sort of
celebrants are in a great position to be that point of contact. And we're also required to offer services such as relationship counselling. We don't provide the service ourselves, but we are a referral service. So if clients are struggling before they get married or after they get married, or they just want some help, then we're able to point them in the right direction for that. So other services that we do is help them with the whole ceremony itself. And the biggest thing clients struggle with is the vows themselves. I think staring at a blank piece of paper can be quite overwhelming. So we can support them the whole way through that. I can provide lots of resources to help them formulate their vows. And some clients, when it comes to the ceremony, they're very nervous about even saying their vows. So there are different things that we can do to help them. So some clients like to just whisper their vows to each other without the microphone. Some clients don't do the vows at all. You know, there is a legal sentence that they have to say, but then the rest of the vows, they maybe want to do that in private before the wedding or after the wedding.
Oh, lovely,
And occasionally we say their vows for them. So I've done that.
So it's not one size fits all?
No, definitely not.
Just as long as they have the legal requirements, you can work around the personalities.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Because for some people, it's really overwhelming. And often on the day they change their mind. So I've had that too. So, you know, they don't want to say it, And then on the day they whisper to me, so Claire, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it.
And they change their mind.
They change their mind, and they just get that feeling that I should do this. I want to do this.
That adrenaline that they don't have on a normal day.
So they change their mind, and that's just beautiful.
Well, I can totally sympathize with that, because as I told you before we started shooting, I laughed hysterically. That's how I dealt with all of my emotions, and my husband to this day still makes fun of me for it.
We do all sorts of things when we're nervous.
Yes, you do.
You do.
Yeah, that's right. You help your couples manage that before, and it sounds like even during the wedding, you're there as a guide.
Yes.
You're there in their journey, and you're going to make sure they get to that end point, getting married.
Yeah, definitely, and make it a really memorable experience for them, and not a terrifying experience.
That's so cool. I honestly, even I didn't realize how much went into being a celebrant. So you have really educated me on, you know, the value of a celebrant. Yes. You do really put a lot into your craft.
Oh, definitely, and making sure that it's, you know, reflective of that couple, and it's not one size fits all, for sure.
So Claire, I remember on my wedding day, I was sitting on the balcony and I still hadn't written my vows, and it was about 3 hours before the wedding day. Kept telling myself I was going to. I finally did it, but it would have been nice to maybe have a helping hand or some advice on where to get started. Do you have a tip that you can give couples on where to get started writing, you know, one of the most important things that they're going to write in their life?
I think the biggest thing that we can tell clients is just to speak from the heart. I think you can't go wrong if you're speaking from the heart. You need to say why this person is the person that you miss the most when they're not there. You know, why have you chosen this person?
Yeah.
And your kind of promises for the future for each other.
Yeah.
And I think once you start to break it down, it gets a little bit easier. Just start. And also having your phone, having the notes on your phone. If you think of something, write it in the notes and it'll all come together.
Yeah.
And just reach out to your celebrant if you really are struggling. Yeah. But if you speak from the heart, you're not going to go wrong.
I think I started with I loved his smile, and then from there I was able to write something. But for some reason it just took me a while to get there because I had so much to think about. I didn't know how to put it into a page.
Yeah, and keeping it simple. It doesn't have to be anything. They think they have to write something amazing.
A romance novel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be. It's so personal to the couple. Yeah. And if they want to crack jokes between themselves, that's absolutely fine. The only thing we would ask them not to do is to laugh at the other person's expense. You know, I think that can happen sometimes.
Yes.
And like, maybe save that for later.
Yep. Save that for the speeches.
Yes.
Yeah. Afterwards.
So, yeah. But usually when I read the vows, it's beautiful and I have a tear in my eye and I just think, oh, you've nailed it. This is amazing. Yeah.
So can couples have a surprise wedding?
They can have a surprise wedding as long as it's not a surprise to the other person. It can only be a surprise for the guests. And that's amazing. But you can't just rock up and get married if the other person doesn't know.
That's a good point.
There's kind of a consent issue there.
Yes. Okay.
But often couples say that. Can I surprise him? And like,
no,
you can't. You can surprise your guests, and that's amazing. When that happens, that's just beautiful. But you can't surprise each other with a wedding.
Great. Good advice. Claire, thank you so much for joining us for Golden Moments with Lumbre. We think you are one of the best celebrants in the industry here in Adelaide, and we really hope to work with you again in the future. Best of luck with your new business.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you for all the advice you provided today.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.